All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Tonight, we're going to be talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, they're hitting the road to take on the Buffalo Bills, who are, I'm using air quotes here, one of the hottest teams in the National Football League. Newsflash, if you watched the Bills play in the last month or so, I would strongly disagree. But we have to give some respect to the Pittsburgh Steelers. As we're learning about the conditions, it's going to be wind chill temp or whatever. I'm not a meteorologist. It's going to be close to 0 degrees. It's going to be a cold night. Snow is in the forecast. And either way, I think this game is perfectly tailored for the Pittsburgh Steelers and their brand of football. We have to keep in mind, man, I understand it. They're playing with a third-string quarterback. Minkah Fitzpatrick, thankfully, is coming back this weekend. There is no TJ Watt, and it is an absolute blow. I understand this. The Pittsburgh Steelers, however, went 5-1 in the division, where every team finished above 500. Against teams with a winning record, they were 8-5, folks. They went 5-3 against playoff teams. Now, I know there's some sprinkled in bad losses. You know, Thursday night football to the Patriots, the Arizona Cardinals at home. But they've beaten some really good football teams, all while scoring less than 18 points per game, which is nuts. That's the fourth worst in the National Football League. And they have won 3 straight football games with their third-string quarterback in Mason Rudolph. They put up 2 30-point games. This is like the first time we have seen these offensive statistics from the Steelers since the year 2020. Now, I know that doesn't seem like too long ago. It's 2024. That was 4 years ago. So you got to respect the Pittsburgh Steelers. We have a great quote here from Michael Irvin, but before we get into the video any further, if you guys enjoy it, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. Steelers fans, you guys have been with me all season. I love you guys so much. If we could try and get this video to 250 likes, it would mean the absolute world to me. So here is what Michael Irvin said about this game. This is going to be the most physical game Buffalo's had all year long, bar none, because they're not coming in and saying, we're throwing the ball. They fully understand we are running this football and playing defense. So Buffalo, you got to bring everybody up in that line of scrimmage. And when you do that, they're going to give my man, he didn't say my man, George Pickens, an opportunity to make a play. So this is going to be a really good game. And then it's followed up by yesterday, a quote from Mason Rudolph, who is like, guys, Mason Rudolph, this dude is such a professional. I'm trying to not just like inject hopium into my veins here because I got nothing against the Buffalo Bills. I think Buffalo seems like a cool city. Maybe this isn't the right target demographic to say that, but Mason Rudolph has done a professional and excellent job. In the 3 games, he has been a starter. He's not thrown an interception, folks. We're going to talk about that in a second. Here's his quote. This is the blueprint. I've told myself that I'm going to take what they give me, and I know we're running the ball well, take shots when they present themselves, but be smart and don't force anything. Folks, I have an opinion on this game. If the Pittsburgh Steelers win the turnover battle, they will win the football game. Josh Allen threw 18 interceptions this season. He plays hero ball quite a bit. If there is snow on the ground, I am starting to lick my chops now that Minkah Fitzpatrick is back, but I want to pinpoint a player that all of my Steelers fans, obviously they know who Alex Highsmith is. This dude, I think this is the game where he establishes himself as a star linebacker in the National Football League because he's been great. Like, for example, he had 69 quarterback pressures this season. The dude was a sack monster last season on the stat sheet. He's been great with quarterback pressures. He's been great with quarterback hits. He's been great with sacks, fumbles, you name it. Alex Highsmith is a star in the National Football League. And this is the wrong wording. It's not that he's riding the coattails of TJ Watt. That's actually the complete wrong wording. I think he's been overshadowed. And definitely not to Steelers fans, but to the rest of the National Football League. This dude is going to step up and he is going to make plays. But they also have 2 players who actually just really need to step up in the absence of TJ Watt. Marcus Golden. I'm going to throw Mark Robinson in there, even though he's a different, he wasn't supposed to be. But Marcus Goldwyn and Nick Herbig, the rookie Nick Herbig, they combined for 7 sacks this season. But here's the thing. They only had 154 rush attempts. These guys can play. I'm a Packers fan. The Steelers need time games from both Marcus Golden and Nick Herbig, and I think they're up for the challenge. I actually think 100% they're up for the challenge. And then we briefly mentioned Mark Robinson. He, I think, is definitely up for the challenge. Huge game against the Baltimore Ravens. But guys, here's the blueprint. We just talked about the blueprint. If there's snow on the field, but either way, play your brand of football. I want the Pittsburgh Steelers to get the opening kickoff or on their first offensive possession. I want them to run it up the Bills' throat. If they're stacking the box, give George Pickens the ball. We know Mason Rudolph can throw. This dude threw two. Mason Rudolph in the snow, sleet, slippery field of Baltimore. He went 18 of 20. He threw 2 incompletions in that crappy weather. Mason Rudolph, folks, can play. And my Steelers fans watching this video right now know he certainly can't play. This just kind of feels special. I don't know what it is. This just kind of feels special. We're not going to talk about what happens if you win this football game because that's in the future. But this just feels special. Najee Harris has been on a tear recently. Second half of the season. Jaylen Warren averaged over 5 yards per carry this season. The Pittsburgh Steelers, since Matt Canada's departure, have been a borderline top 5 running group in the National Football League. And if they can control the time of possession and they can control the trenches offensively, run the ball downfield. Keep in mind, the Pittsburgh Steelers offense only dropped 16 passes this season. That's tied first among the National Football League. And George, you give the ball to George Pickens in one-on-one situations when you're throwing the ball. Find Deontay Johnson. Let's get Pat Freiermuth involved. Let's get Jaylen Warren involved in the pass game. Let's get everybody involved passing-wise. But they're going to run the football. And they are going to run it efficiently. The Buffalo Bills have a really good defense, but they are like an average, middle-of-the-pack statistical rush defense. If you can put up touchdowns early in the football game and force, even if it's a close game and Josh Allen doesn't need to be the hero because he's going to make mistakes. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the Buffalo Bills' recent track record, the Pittsburgh Steelers brand of football, but this just, it's a January game in the snow, in the freezing freaking cold. Their defense, which is ranked 6th in the league, I understand they're 1-10 without TJ Watt since he's been drafted. Josh Allen's going to make mistakes. And when Minkah Fitzpatrick and when Alex Highsmith and when Joey Porter Jr., when Casey's back, by the way, when these guys get the opportunity to make a play, when Josh Allen makes mistakes, they're going to capitalize. And if this offense can just simply do what they've done in the last couple of weeks, I understand there was a fumble issue last week against Baltimore. That cannot happen against Buffalo. Najee Harris, Jaylen Warren, Mason Rudolph, you got to keep it clean. No interceptions, no fumbles, most importantly, no turnovers. And you let Josh Allen try to be the hero, try to play hero football, and you capitalize on his mistakes because he's going to give you turnover-worthy plays. Folks, I'm feeling pretty good. In fact, if you had to ask me who, and this is a little bit biased because I've been posting Steelers videos all year and I've been a lot higher on this team than the rest of the National Football League media, I would predict, I'll just predict it. I'm a Packers fan. There's no biases here. There's no jinxing here. I get it. I'm a superstitious guy as well. When we played you guys in the Super Bowl, I watched the second half in my bedroom because I watched the second half in my bedroom all year. I was like 11 or 12, and they won the Super Bowl. I'm not a superstitious guy I was that year. I'm just saying it. There's no jinxing going on right now. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to beat the Buffalo Bills this upcoming Sunday afternoon. That is it for today. Little Steelers hype video for you guys. If you enjoyed it, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. But Steelers fans, give me a confidence rating, 1 out of 10, 10 being very confident, 1 being not confident at all. What's your upset alert looking like? Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great rest of your week. We'll get another Steelers video out to you guys before Sunday. We'll see you next time.